Hi Virgo, welcome to your November 2025 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Check them out for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. With that said, these are really early this month, and the reason for that is the 2026 stuff is on its way in, and I didn't want these to clash, but I also wanted to make sure that you got your November reading. So here we go. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop these to the side, and these as well. So we're going to do your key to the month. Remember, you can book your personal tarot reading with me. There's a link in the description box below. I offer astrology and numerology sessions as well as energy work. So if you want to get any of all of that good stuff, you know where to find me. And I now offer an emergency reading. This is for when you really need short, sharp answers to your questions. This is where you book and you get your reading the very same day I send it to you as a video. Your key to the month is the Hierophant card. There is definitely something going on the wider world stage. The Hierophant has been very active for the month of November, so it will be interesting to see what is unfolding at that time. There's likely to be something, I think this is going to be going on with the religions or the spiritualities of the world, but it could just as easily be like, you know, something to do with governments, or maybe even you know, nations and monarchs as well. Like, there's a lot going on this month on the wider world stage when it comes to the Hierophant. And I say that because this card has come up a lot, and usually when a card, a major arcana card shows up, it usually means that that thing that it represents in the world is about to really unfold in a big way, or we're going to see this in some huge kind of way. When it comes to your actions and options this month, you've got the Two of Pentacles, and I completely forgot to mention, the Hierophant means you're going to be focused on the structures of your world this month. The Hierophant means that you're going to be focused on the structures, the elements of the structures, but also the status quo in your own life. Remember, this card also speaks to a lot of the time about your daily habits, patterns and routines. These are things that this is your bread and butter, right? You have an affinity with the sixth house being the sixth sign, and a lot of there is, you know, they're not the same thing, but there's definitely an overlap. And with this Hierophant card this month, you could also find that there is a lot more interaction with bigger or larger institutions in some way, shape or form. Now, you've got the Two of Pentacles for your actions and options. I wouldn't be surprised if the bigger or the larger institutions that you are interacting with this month are those of a financial nature. So banks, building societies, you know, I'm trying to think what other financial institutions there are. You know, there's pawn shops and stuff like that, but I don't really see the Hierophant as that. The Hierophant is always a lot more official than that, right? So the fact that you've got the Two of Pentacles, which is a card of money and budgeting, and it's your actions are you're focused on really getting your finances in order or in gear in some way. When it comes to your the options that are available to you, there's a chance this month for you to read between the lines. Now, remember, your ruling planet Mercury is retrograde this month. It's going to start its retrograde in Sag, reverse all the way back into the sign of Scorpio. And what's really interesting about this, I think, is, you know, there could be some kind of information that you've been given. Maybe at the time that you're given it, you were like, okay, cool. And then it's like looking back over it, you're like, actually, this doesn't make sense. And I would say go through your bank statements and your financial contracts and stuff with a fine tooth comb this month, because there's a chance that you're going to find something that either doesn't make sense or there's a discrepancy of some sort. So do look at this stuff. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Page of Swords. Look, the quality of conversation that you're having this month is about crossing the T's and dotting the I's. There is some financial dispute or issue that's coming up this month, and I think this is because you are going to discover a discrepancy. This could be that you're, you know, and I'll talk about where and how this might show up in just a moment, but the fact that you've got it next to the Two of Pentacles, it could be also that something that you have said is either misconstrued, or somebody is using that as ammunition in a way that you kind of catch hold of, and you're like, hang on a sec, I didn't say that, and what I did say was this, and what I meant was this, right? So be careful with this month, because somebody could be using your name or your weight or whatever to kind of say like, oh well, actually this is, this is this, and you're like, I did not say that, and I do not endorse that idea, conversation, etc., etc., etc. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could be that there is a dispute this month over what you are paying for your fees, or something to do with the course. It could also be that maybe this month you decide, like, to look at the financials of the studies, etc., and maybe there's something here that doesn't make sense. So again, do your due diligence. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, you might check your payslip this month and realize that your boss has been underpaying you by, I don't know, like £5. It would probably be a small amount, but obviously over the course of a year that adds up, right? It could be that. It could also be that this month you notice that there is a discrepancy in your pay, or something that you were supposed to be in receipt of. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this month where you have outstanding invoices, you will have to push for them. I'm really sorry to say that. There's potentially some delay, or maybe you having to kind of get a little bit strong arm and, send an email to say, listen, you owe me or my business or whatever this money, and, you kind of need to pay up. Do be mindful around this, because obviously you don't want to, break a relationship just for the sake of, a strong email. However, if they need to pay up, they need to pay up. When it comes to your, those of you that are retired and no longer working, this will be something to do with your bank. This will be something to do with your paperwork around your bank. It could also be, I touch wood and I really hope I'm wrong, but watch out for things like fraud this month, Virgo, as well. Make sure that you're, keeping your passwords tight and your PIN codes secret and all of that kind of stuff. Just make sure that you're really watching out for your finances. Anyway, for your love and relations, you've got the Moon card. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, there's something about the relationship that's causing a little bit of confusion this month. And I think the way that this might unfold is, there's something that maybe you and your partner disagree on, but it's almost like they are seeking to bring somebody else into the equation, that it's like, why are you calling in the cavalry for this? There's no reason for us to fall out or to argue over it. I would also say, where maybe you have caught your partner in a lie previously, more or new information around that might come up at this moment in time, and there are potentials here for miscommunication. Remember, your planet Mercury is retrograde, so do watch out for this month, because it might be that there's something that you misunderstand or misconstrue. It might be the other way around. It could also be that somebody is sticking their oar in where it's really just not wanted, okay? For those of you that are single and looking to mingle, do not be surprised if you hear from an ex this month. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that the Virgos are the ones reaching out, sending the I miss you and I love you texts and all of that kind of stuff. So just watch out, because you might feel very differently when Mercury goes direct, all right? For your money and materials, there's no getting around this. I'm just going to say it straight up. For some of you, if you are partnered, maybe, I was hoping I wouldn't have to say this, but I'm gonna say it because the cards are shouting. And for those of you that are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, there may be a financial discrepancy around a joint account. There might be money missing. It might have gone somewhere where you don't know or recognize the company. This might be one of those times where a partner is trying to hide a sign of financial distress, or maybe just financial mismanagement, or maybe they've bought something and now they're like, oh shit, now I've got to justify it, or whatever the case might be. There is potentially some kind of distress over money this month, and my feeling is one of them is, please watch out for fraud this month, like bank fraud, all of that kind of stuff. Be extra careful. The other thing is as well, it's possible if you're partnered or if somebody has access to your resources, that there could be some issue or some discrepancy, and it might leave a really sour taste in your mouth. I'm really sorry to say this. I will also say, because this is the number 5 as well, 2 5s is a vigil. When it comes to how you treat money, how you see money, how you focus on money, something about your own thought process around resources is going to be highlighted this month. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I do want you to watch out for overindulgence this month, but I especially want you to watch out for things like, whether you're single, whether you're partnered, watch out for things like STIs and STDs. Just be extra careful, whatever the case might be, okay? And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, if you have pets, look after them, keep them indoors is my advice to you. If you don't, and there are particularly things to do with water, plumbing, or moisture, or mold, or even damp, this would be the month to pay close attention to that stuff. All right. I wish I could have given you better news for the month, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit more tense than we would like. For your Human Design Oracle deck message, you've got the Gate 49 and Revolution. This is what's called the Sleeping Phoenix. So for you, Virgo, there's definitely something that's coming to light. There's some new information, something's coming to light, something that you're going to see clearer than you've seen it before. And when you see this, you won't be able to unsee it, which is potentially creating a little bit of a challenge for you. But equally, it's also in the long run going to create a whole bunch of freedom. I think this is one of those months where the revelations that come forward are a little bit challenging, but they also allow you to really open up dialogues and really move forward beyond whatever the issue is. With that said, stay tuned for your 2026 goodies. I've got everything. I pulled out all the stops this year. Everything from free stuff to paid stuff and back again. And I really hope that you love them. Let me know, if it's not too private, how this shapes up for you in your personal experience. All right, take care, and I'll see you soon.